Hello, I'm Des.
I'm Robert.
From the Save Weekly Hoard campaign. Today is the first day of the public inquiry, and we're going to just give you a little bit of an overview and a brief on how we think it went.
Which was pretty well. Today was the day when we had our public speakers lined up to tell the inspector why they don't think the application should go ahead, why the wood and meadow shouldn't be built on. We had a small number, I think smaller than we would have hoped, number of public speakers, but boy were they good, and they were really spoke from the heart, and to be fair to the inspector, he was looking straight at them, writing things down and showing a clear interest in what they were saying, and quite rightly, because they did speak well, didn't they, Des?
Yeah, they're very, very, very good public speakers. Thank you if you're watching. All your stories, well, yeah, the first person we gave a round of applause to, and then the inspector asked us not to do that because it's wasn't the right not context but right arena, I guess, for rounds of applause after
Would you
public
say
speakers.
it wasn't a music hall?
Yeah, that's it, yeah. But yeah, everybody spoke so well, and thank you, because some of those stories were really, really personal, and I know that would have taken a lot to actually say in public for those people. So yeah, thank you.
Now, before that, we had, I think we'd say, a select group of protesters, not protesters, demonstrators, sorry, a strictly peaceful demonstration outside the entrance to the venue. There were no police there, there was no trouble of any sort, it was all very nice. Yeah, okay, the number of people turning up was a bit disappointing again, but look, we're in Thrapston, it's not Kettering.
It's not Kettering.
It's a working day, so you know it's hardly surprising that the numbers were fewer than we thought.
Yeah, but thanks again to those people that came along, that turned up this morning. Quite a few from Staunch, which is the Titchmarsh campaign, Titchmarsh-based campaign against the warehouses there. So thanks very much from Staunch. Shout out to Staunch.
Yeah, well on Staunch.
Yeah, and yeah, we did have some issues with the live stream, in that the council's live stream wasn't working. So luckily, I brought my phone and tripod and set up, and we managed to get that going ourselves.
Des saves the day.
But yeah, it was certainly an experience. I mean, I've never done anything like that before, and I was only watching. So to be actually part of the action, it was very, utmost thanks to those people that spoke.
One of the highlights, I think, for me, apart from the personal speakers, was our barrister, Paul Stinchcombe. Now, Paul gets the opportunity, as did the other two barristers, to give what's called, I think it's called an opening statement or opening speech, which is a kind of summary, 15-20 minutes of our case and why we don't think the appeal or application should succeed. And he went third out of the three, and I know I'm biased, but I really did think he was by far the best. He was certainly the most interesting to listen to. And I was also pleased that he really focused on the ecology side, the damage to not just to the people's enjoyment of the wood, but the habitat that it provides to all the creatures and animals, insects, butterflies, and so on. And he listed them all, and he also listed the ways in which the Clew surveyors, the people who did the the ecological surveys, had not stuffed up, that's probably overstating it, but made certain errors which meant that their surveys were not complete, which in turn maybe explain why the council have decided not to fight the ecology side of things, which it is a disappointment, no doubt.
Their surveys were crap.
But that's not very good.
Yeah. So the opening statements, as we said, were really, really good from Paul Stinchcombe, our KC, our lawyer. That was brilliant. Then we moved on to the transport after lunch. So there was talk about the sustainable transport plans, or lack of plans, as it turns out. The problem here was that the council have sort of agreed with...
Caved in, I think is the word.
Caved in to the developer and said things like, well, they only need to pay for 3 years maintenance on a bus shelter, and the travel plans, they're fine. It's very our expert witness, Alison Holland of Brightways, who's recently been named one of Cycling UK's top 100 women in cycling in the UK, was brilliant at this. She really passionately put across her points of view that all of the plans there, all the cycle schemes, the shared cycleways were not LTN 120 compliant, and that we expect a lot better. And she was very, very good. Yeah,
she was outstanding, actually. I mean, if any of our other witnesses can reach her sort of standard, and I think of a couple who might, then they would have done really well. She was actually fearless. She did actually much better after she was challenged near the beginning of her evidence on something by the inspector, and she kind of, perhaps I shouldn't say any more then. And he said, "Look, don't worry, I'm just acting as a devil's advocate. So just because I'm challenging you doesn't mean I don't agree with you." I think from there on, she was firing on all cylinders.
Absolutely, yeah. So we broke. We stopped about just after 3 o'clock. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll have our live stream, which you can watch on YouTube, on our YouTube channel. Tomorrow morning is ecology, so this is going to be one of our key battlegrounds, I think.
Big one.
It's the big one, yeah. We've got our two witnesses, Adam Riley of Kettering Nature Group, and Catherine Banham, who is
Wildlife Trust.
Yes, Wildlife Trust of Bedford, Cambridgeshire, and Northamptonshire. Is she like the director or the manager?
I'm not sure, but she's
quite
a fully qualified ecologist.
Yeah, brilliant. Those two are amazing. I think Casey's already said that he's never seen as good citizen survey results as what we have presented. Again, it's a shame that the council are not challenging on this, but it'll be interesting to see what the developer, what the Clue have to say as to the ecology of the area, which I think in one of their surveys said they found 2 birds, one of which was a crow, which is ridiculous because there's a huge amount of red listed birds, and the surveys they did were not done in the right times to see anything. And the work of Adam and Helen and Simon in surveying Weekly Wood over the last 3 years has just been astonishing. It's amazing work from them.
So we're hoping for hoping for great things. Obviously there's no decisions at this stage, but
we should mention that
what
do we need to mention? We really need you guys out there to come along next Wednesday, because there are only 5 public speakers today. The public session that was planned for tomorrow night is not happening. Now there's only one more public session, which is next Wednesday the 6th of December between 6:30 p.m. and 9 p.m. At Thrapston in the building behind us, which is why we're stood here. That's the only time that members of the public can speak in defence of the wood, because there were 5 people turned up today. We were hoping for a lot more, but I know it's a Tuesday, it's a working day, and we're in Thrapston. But next Wednesday, it's so important that if you care about the wood, if you want to save the wood, that you come and tell the inspector how much it means to you, your personal stories, your anecdotes, your experience of the wood and the meadow, and what it means to you and why you think it should be saved, and not have huge honking great warehouses built on it. That's so important. To do that, you need to email julie.randle, that's RANDLE, at northamps.gov.uk. The email address is in the description of this video. You have to do that and tell her that you're going to speak. Tell her that you can tell her that you want to attend, but if you register to speak as well, or tell them that you're going to speak, then that means the council know how many people are interested, which is of course what hasn't happened for tomorrow's session. So the understanding was that there wasn't anybody that wanted to come tomorrow, so they've cancelled the evening session.
Yeah, I mean, I think the other thing to say is that today's speakers did do very well.
Yeah,
they were helped by the fact that the atmosphere is actually not as intimidating as you might think it is. The inspector is, I wouldn't say a jovial Scot, but he's certainly got a good sense of humour. and he didn't ask any questions at all, in fact, of any of the public speakers, or indeed none of the barristers asked them any questions. So there was no kind of interrogation.
Yeah.
And people could speak for as long as they liked. One person spoke for quite a short time. A couple of others spoke for actually for quite a long time.
Yeah,
Good 10 minutes. But I don't think it matters whether you want to speak for even as little as a minute. If you just want to say that you want to save the wood and that you agree with what the previous speaker said or somebody else said, that's enough. It is partly a numbers game. I know it is very much depends on what people say, but if we can get 10, 20 people there on Wednesday the 6th, isn't it, Des?
Wednesday the 6th of December from 6:30 to 9 p.m.
Yeah.
6:30 p.m. to 9
And we will be laying on transport if anybody wants to do any car shares, as we did today. Just get down here. There's plenty of parking down here if you do drive, and it only takes 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, we'll be sending out more stuff on the socials and more emails about this, but yeah, we really, really, really need more people to come along and tell the inspector what you think of the wood, how much you love the area. That's so important. Yeah. I think that's it for today. So all in all,
I can't think of anything else. Not a bad day.
No, not a bad day. Don't think so.
And tomorrow, I think probably is more interesting in the sense of to hear the ecology evidence, to hear our two witnesses. That's going to be great. It's going to be an interesting day.
Brilliant. Right, thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.